The Thinker and the Joker, read alongside Mock. How you doing, Mock?
Very good, very good. I'm glad we have a first name, a name officially out there now.
I know, right? Now we're a brand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, wait for the T-shirts.
Nice, and all the sponsor ads as well, you know.
Well, I mean, if we have sponsors, then I think our intro will be much longer, right?
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass. Like, I don't mind them when they do it at the end because you have the choice of turning it off. But if you're like running and listening to something or walking and all the ads are in the beginning, it's kind of annoying because you don't want to be there taking them out of your phone. You know, first world problems.
You know, actually, what's changed now is before well, it still happens that you have the ads before the video on YouTube, and then you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
skip the ad. But now what they're doing is they're putting the ads in the video. So you'll have
yeah,
someone say, this video is sponsored by, this company, and then he'll talk to you for 2 minutes about the
yeah,
product, and like you have to skip 2 minutes, and then you don't know exactly where. So
yeah. It's annoying.
they're getting smart because I think they know people are just skipping the ads.
Yeah, exactly. People look more at the seconds ticking down when you get the skip ad button than they do at the actual ad, you know?
That's right. Sometimes, because I listen to YouTube in the shower, so sometimes I'm stuck because I have to watch the
Yeah,
ad
yeah,
because
you
I'm
have
wet
to.
and I can't
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
that's the
And
only time really that you listen to ads.
the gaming ones are the worst, man. If you game on your mobile, they do the ads like for you to get free gold coins or free whatever, free money,
Oh
free
yeah, that's right.
unlocking whatever. And those ads are like 28 seconds with no skip button, man. You know, it drives you crazy, and it's the same ad over and over and over again, man. So now what I do is, because I have my work phone, to show you how dependent we are. But because I have my work phone, but I do the ad things on the game while to unlock whatever, and I'm just on the other phone messaging you back or whatever.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
Again, first world problems.
yeah, man. But yeah, how are you doing with the isolation?
Yeah, I'm all right. To be fair, my life isn't too different. It's only different in the sense that okay, the gyms are closed. That's
Yeah.
the only way. But we went out to play tennis yesterday. That wasn't a problem.
Yeah, of course it's not, because you're keeping a distance from each other. So technically, tennis is the only sport that should still exist, right?
That's right. Well, anyway, the
And
courts were empty too, so
you need less than 10 people. You have like your ball guys, one at the back, one in the front, one on each side. Let's make four. Two tennis players and one referee. That's it.
well, the line judges too. But there's
Yeah.
six. Is there six of them? I think
Oh.
maybe more. There's three, and four. Probably 10. 10 line judges. The line judges themselves rule you out.
Yeah. Well, still, it's doable, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna have judges, then you
Yeah.
could do it. One
Yeah.
umpire.
Yeah. You need under 10, I think. That's the rule. That's what the UFC said.
You could probably get rid of a couple of ball boys as well if
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
my life hasn't changed that much. I don't really go out that much during the weekends, and I did have a working from home setup as well. Anyway, I
Hmm.
would go into the office 3 times, so it's a bit of work that I'm being affected by, and like the gym. But
Yeah.
other than that, I've been like going to the groceries,
Yeah.
doing my groceries 5 times more than I normally would, just because I have nothing to do, and it's like I
Yeah.
want to go out. I'll
Oh
just go to
man,
the
all the
shop.
time. Exactly. And I have so much useless shit in my fridge. Alone, let's not do it in this podcast, but alone we should have a podcast about how many things you can name in your house that you bought that after all this is done, you're never gonna even open, you're just gonna end up throwing it away after the expiry date.
Well, I mean, I didn't. hoard or like buy stuff because of the coronavirus. What
No.
I do is I buy little things here and there because I'm bored and I just want to go out somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
That's
it's
the
like
same.
it's
It's like, I had enough nuts, but I just thought, oh, well, these are different type of nuts. I might as well get those. It's almost.
yeah. Oh, and another way my life has been affected is, yesterday was meant to be the day I went to the UFC London event, and
Oh
now it's
yeah,
cancelled. Really upset about that.
yeah. That is shit.
Yeah.
My next big thing is an 80s festival in August, which I don't know if they're still gonna go on. I mean, 80s festival, man. All these singers are like over 50. They're probably the worst, people to perform in
That's
front of a
right.
crowd, right?
If there's an outbreak there, they're all
Yeah.
gone.
If it was some Electric Picnic or Glastonbury, I'd be completely fine. We'll probably still go ahead, but the old people, right? Um, but yeah, I've got also a ticket to go to Cyprus in the summer. I don't know if this is still going to happen.
Yeah, I think for the summer you're safe. I mean, I don't foresee this thing going on for more than a couple
Yeah,
more weeks. I think I mean, Donald Trump, tweeted that he thinks they found the cure now. He's not the
uh,
most reliable source in the world.
uh,
But I guess he has some advisors, maybe. I don't know. Uh, but either way, there's no way they can lock you down for more than a couple of weeks. Just the world economy would collapse. So
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they have to.
Yeah, I tell you the reason why. To be honest, I'm not that like. If it was to get cancelled, I have a bit of a Larry David situation at the moment with Ryanair. Now Ryanair has been really good. They cancel flights, refund them. They give you the option of refunding or scheduling another flight. Obviously for free, but
Yeah.
most people get a refund anyways. And refund comes and everything. But like when I booked this ticket, I had a whole issue with Ryanair, and I got really, really annoyed. And it was an ongoing complaint for a while because I booked my ticket to go to Cyprus because it said one ticket left, one
Okay.
ticket left, and I paid 350 euros for that ticket, right? Um, and 3 4 days later, I'm just on the website again, and I'm just like, let me, out of curiosity, see what does it say full or is what's up with the flight since I bought the last ticket, and it didn't say one ticket left. It said like whatever amount of tickets. Like there wasn't a minimal number of tickets left for them to even mention it, and the
Yeah.
flight was still available to book, and it was like 220 euros, like a good bit cheaper. So my issue was I understand prices fluctuate, but like I called them to complain and tell them that basically you can't lie about how many tickets are left. You can change the price up and down depending on supply demand, but you can't forget. And it was a whole thing. And you know what annoyed me the most? Every single person I complained to just kept saying the same thing. Sir, prices fluctuate. Like, I'm not talking about the fucking price. I'm talking about the fact you told me I had one chance left to get my ticket on those dates. And instead, if I waited longer, I wouldn't have been affected by that one ticket. Like, that's my problem. I'm like, I would have waited. I would have
So
been one of those guys that got it for 220. So at this stage, you know what? They didn't want to have reasoning with me. I even complained, like I went as far as complaining to some consumer
Oh wow.
and competition council that's like government run. Like to be honest, like they explained to me from the beginning, they're like, we're not gonna get your money back or we're not gonna whatever. They're like, the only thing we do is we investigate to make sure they're not doing anything illegal, and if they're doing anything bad, then we report to the government, and the government gets a fine, and the government gets money, but you don't get anything. I'm like, oh really? Well, fuck it, fuck those guys. So I complained through them, but I didn't get anything, obviously, and they're doing their investigation, whatever. Uh, but yeah, man. Now, if the flight gets cancelled, it's like it's a win-win. If I can go, then great, whatever. If the flight gets cancelled, I get my money back. I got the last laugh.
So they're not offering refunds for people right now in August, right? They're waiting.
No, no, they're waiting. They'll probably wait until like the day before.
I'll tell you what. I didn't think you were a complainer. I mean, Not in that sense. Not the guy who's going to take it up with the the governing body that
You know
does the
what?
complaints.
You know what? It was more annoyances at the way they were dealing with it than the actual complaint itself. Like, look, to be fair, yeah, it did say one ticket left, but maybe they meant one ticket left at that price. I don't know.
But
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's misleading, and that could be illegal. So I understand your point there.
Yeah, but like it was more the guys. Like I must have complained to three different people every time. No one knew anything about it, so I had to repeat myself. And the three different people kept saying, "But prices fluctuate. But prices fluctuate." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, prices fluctuate, but amounts of seats on a plane doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't go from like automatically a bigger plane. Otherwise you would have just put it as a big plane and then decided to go on a smaller plane if you don't sell enough tickets."
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, seats don't fluctuate.
No.
That's,
So yeah, best of luck with that.
yeah. But no, man, I haven't been affected myself out of this whole thing. I'm an introvert, so I prefer staying home. I don't like going to big gatherings or big crowds, parties, birthdays, weddings, baptisms, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Baptisms. Have you been to any recently?
I've been to a few.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where? In Ireland?
I've been to my brother's in Cyprus. It was like an Orthodox one.
Okay.
The Orthodox, it's an Orthodox one because they put the whole baby under the water. It's not like, let me put a bit of water on his forehead. It's like, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Let's see how long he can hold his breath. Like give him 30 seconds. Um, I've been to my daughter's one. That was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
But she's Catholic, so they were cool. They were just like, oh yeah, just put some water on you. You're
Fair
done.
enough.
And like in the Orthodox one, it's like a whole thing where they rent the church for the day and they have a party and souvla and all that stuff. But with the Catholic one, okay, there is the afterwards, family, relative, whatever, they might meet for a meal or whatever. It's not like, but most of the time when you go to the church, there's like 50 kids there and they're all like waiting their turn to be baptized. It's almost like the baptism office.
Oh, wait, they do that. I thought baptisms was like a one-on-one thing. I didn't realize they do bulk baptisms.
If you want your time with the priest, you gotta pay. I don't know, to be honest, what happens, but no, man, they have like just one popping up from the seat every time, like, your turn, yeah, next, come on, who's, almost like being at a clinic.
So wait, are they? So I'm guessing it's a bowl of water. The priest dips his hand in it and then throws some at the child or something.
Yeah. Depending how big your forehead is, I'm guessing that's what he proportions the water amount of ratio that goes on it.
I mean, okay.
I don't know.
I'm guessing baptisms are put on hold now with the whole coronavirus
definitely.
thing.
Technically, he's washing his hands before putting the water on his. Oh yeah, but it's dirty water, right?
Well, no, it's holy water, so
it's holy.
don't
No.
disrespect.
When I said no, I meant like if his hands are dirty and he puts his dirty hands in the water and then uses that water on the kid, the water's dirty. That's
no, but you see, the water has been cleansed by the power of Jesus or whoever.
Oh yeah, true.
So the water is stronger than the priest's dirty hand.
Yeah, you're right. That makes sense. But
actually, I have a funny story, which is pre-coronavirus times when we were allowed to go to the pubs in the UK.
Oh.
We had some after-work drinks, and like we're just there at the pub, and there was one of the older ladies in the office. She's probably in her 50s, something, and it was me, her, and then this other colleague, also around my age. We just there, kind of sat close by and just chatting. At one point, she starts talking to us about a story of her children, right?
Yeah.
And she's mostly was talking to that female colleague that was next to her, but I was kind of there, so I was listening. She starts telling the story to that woman, kind of facing her and all that. Then, like midway through the story, that female colleague kind of got bored and just kind of took her phone and started looking at it. And she realized, and so she started continued by looking at me and continuing the story, right?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, continue, but that's completely unfair on you.
Yeah, but I'm there, so she's like, she could see two people looking at her, and one stopped paying attention. She's like, okay, let me carry on the story for the guy who's paying attention, right? So that happened. But the funny thing is, right, that like she started talking to me. At some point, someone kind of came in between us and kind of
Yeah.
stood there. It might have been the waiter, and like I couldn't really see her anymore. She couldn't really see me. But I'm still listening. And then the waiter was there for about
Whoa,
5 or
wait.
10 seconds.
Did she continue speaking while the waiter was there?
Yes, but you see, I
Man.
could only hear her speaking right at that point.
Okay.
The waiter goes away. Then I see that she started speaking. She's been speaking to the girl that was
Yeah.
sitting next to her,
Yeah.
kind of not talking to me anymore.
Yeah.
And because I presumably the girl went off her phone, and I found that hilarious because
It is.
I think she just wanted to talk. She didn't care who was listening,
Yeah. People are like that, huh?
Yeah.
But also, you know what? Like, you were telling me this story, and I know you meant it in that way. But firstly, this asshole woman who went on her phone and like completely like screwed you with the conversation. Like, here, you finish
That's right.
it.
That's the first screwing I got.
Yeah, that's the first screwing you got, and you didn't even want to be in that conversation. You just happened. They were talking, whatever. Probably didn't listen to the first part, anyways. I doubt you listened to much of it.
I promise you, I can't remember a single thing about that story because
Yeah.
I was just thinking how strange that situation was anyway, and it got more strange as it went.
And the second like big factor of that is that woman continued speaking even when the waiter was there. The waiter was there. You couldn't even have eye contact. Like the first thing I do if I'm speaking to Sarah about anyone, anything, whatever in a restaurant, waiter comes. Yeah, okay. Mm-mm. I do this whole yeah. Like let them do what they have to do. And like, yeah, okay. And then as soon as he goes, I continue talking. Like that's what you normally do. None of this continue talking to me while the waiter is here. What if she asks you a personal question, expecting an answer? Waiter would have stayed even longer just to fucking see what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, some people just like talking. I guess they they don't care who's there. She carried on basically.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a third factor of this, but I forgot what the third factor was because I forgot after the waiter what happened.
Basically, I got screwed majorly.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta know.
You did.
But yeah. But I do remember from that night that they were playing Eagle Eye Cherry.
Oh,
right?
Save Tonight, that guy.
Well, that's one of his songs. But here's I was really bored that night, but so I started thinking about Eagle Eye Cherry, and I even Googled him at some point. But get this, right? You know that Eagle Eye Cherry is his actual real name.
Yeah, I didn't know that, to be honest. I thought you were going to say the other cool fact.
Tell me.
I think he's Swedish.
He is. He's half Swedish or something.
Half Swedish, yeah.
I mean, he's half Swedish in the sense. I think he was born in Sweden and grew up there, and then moved to America at one point.
Like
but
Dr. Alban.
Maybe his dad is from somewhere in Africa and his mom is Swedish, or the other way around.
Yeah. Like Dr. Alban as well. Swedish.
Is he Swedish, really?
Yeah, Hathaway, not Swedish, but like Danish or something, I think. Hathaway. What is love?
Yeah. Wait, who else? What are they called? Ace of Base, Swedish.
Oh, yeah. Ace of Base, the ABBA of the 90s.
That's right. Actually, I really like Ace of Base,
Yeah, no, me too, man. To be honest, I always play their songs in the house.
Me too.
Yeah. All of them. I Saw the Sign, All That She Wants.
One of my favorites is Cruel Summer. Do you know it?
Yeah, but you know the original of Cruel Summer, who it is? It's an 80s classic.
Who does the original?
Bananarama. It's a cruel summer.
Yeah. I mean, it's much slower. I like Ace of Base because it's like a disco version. Yeah.
Yeah, disco is best. It's funny as well that you said that you played this song because like it's this kind of music like they were playing it when we'd be out when we were younger, right? And they still play them today. Those tracks, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know if it translates with like the younger people that were at this, like these pubs or clubs. If people like hear this and they're like, "Oh my God, this is new. This is amazing," and it's like, no, 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 no. You were only 1 years old.
Yeah, I think a good DJ, right? He knows
The
who is
crowd.
the crowd. Yeah, like the kind of the age and demographics and all that of the crowd,
Yeah,
and he'll
yeah,
play music that they like or that they grew up listening to and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Because
That's a
if
good
I went
point.
out now and I listened to all the latest stuff, I may
No.
not recognize a lot of it. So I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
I'd have a
100%.
good time as much as
No.
if someone was playing songs from the 90s and then the
Yeah,
noughties as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I agree with you on this. By the
Yeah.
way, bro, are you watching anything good on Isolation? Any good things to recommend or?
Well, I mean, because the missus, she kind of dictates what we
Ah,
watch,
yes.
because she's so picky, right? We're watching a series called The Bridge now. It's a Swedish-Danish
I heard
series.
about it. It's very good. I think it's like 3 seasons, right?
There's 4 that I
Four.
know, but there might be 6 in total. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
No, it's good. I heard. It's like
It is.
crime drama type of thing, right?
It is quite good.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, if you like crime shows,
I do.
that's a good one.
And
That's a good one.
also, can I ask, is it in Swedish English subtitles, or do you watch it like dubbed in English?
No, so it's Swedish, Danish, and
Oh,
English subtitles.
okay. So even Lumberg, there's parts that she wouldn't understand.
Yeah, there's parts that she might not fully understand. Now, I think she can understand some Danish, but not
Yeah,
that much. So yeah, she does need the subtitles as well.
it must be weird. I'm watching French stuff at the moment, and I put cartoons, and all the Dragon Balls I'm
Yeah,
watching,
okay.
but
So
with
so Dragon Ball actually is something I watched in French when I was really young.
yeah,
But that's
that's
because I used to, I used to watch WWF in French.
yeah. Remember
Yeah,
my picks?
yeah. The
I have them in the
commentators
back of my mind
were,
too.
and they must have been Canadian, right? The commentators.
Yeah, definitely. No, but I'm watching all the Dragon Balls in French. I want Layla to like listen to more French, and it's with English subtitles, and Layla watches them with me. I'm not overloading her with like 20 million episodes a day, but like 2 episodes in the morning, you know? She enjoys it as well. And I'm watching City Hunter in French as well. Uh, it's City Hunter is Nicky Larson. I don't know if you remember him. He's like a kind of bodyguard, and he's like a bit pervy. It's an anime as well. It's very
Okay.
good. But I watched the whole series of that Tiger King that I was telling you about, man, and that's so good. Highly recommend it. This Joe Exotic guy, it's like a redneck gay guy that loves guns and owns a tiger zoo.
That sounds cool. But wait, it's a series.
It's like a documentary made about those zoos, right?
No, but I
He's
mean more than one episode.
It's a docu series. It's
Yeah,
like
okay, okay.
one season it finishes. It's not like next year you're gonna find out season 2 what happens. No, it's like just a
Yeah, yeah.
it's a documentary that they broke into 7 episodes, I think.
All
But
right.
it's pretty good. Like it's very the story, and they make it really like in nice parts the way they divide. But insane, man. This guy is just crazy, and that's not just like the biggest guy. Like there's way bigger characters in that show, and they're all like really looking dodgy and all that. You have to give it a try, anyways. I highly recommend it.
All right, fine. That's one for the list, ladies and gentlemen. Like how people have reading lists, right?
Yeah.
You could have like a Netflix list. I'm sure
Oh,
that's a thing. I'm sure that's a thing.
yeah, no, it should be. It should give you the option of doing it yourself manually on the app. Like a
Yeah. Oh
menu
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, let's put this on my list, put this on my list.
Well,
I
you
don't
do
think it
have a
hurts.
list. You can create a list, but it'd be cool if you have a list and you can share with others, which I
Yeah,
don't know if you
yeah.
could.
That would be great. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
a public list. But I think there was a thing like someone was telling me that They now have, I don't know if it's an app or something that you can watch movies or series with people and talk about it, remotely
That
because
you
of
know
the
what?
whole isolation thing.
What would be cool? Yeah. So what you're saying is like while watching Netflix, you can have the choice of calling a user that has Netflix that you're friends with on the Netflix type of social network if it did exist. Is that what you mean?
I don't know how it works, but I assume it's more like you all join a channel or a
Ah,
group, and then the movie starts playing for all of you at the same time.
okay.
So if it gets paused, it'll be paused for everyone, whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
and then you can probably, I don't know if there's a chat thing next to it, or you do it
Yeah,
through your phone or something, or
yeah.
or
That's
it stops and then you can all in the group start
talk.
talking about. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how it works, but that's how
That's
I
nice.
imagine.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's we're copywriting this idea, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening,
Yeah.
it's ours. Um, nice man.
All right,
And
so here's actually one thing I really wanted to talk
yeah,
about, which I don't think anyone does. I don't know if you notice in society, right? Like we hate billionaires and rich people and like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all that kind of stuff, right? But just imagine what we would do without them, right? Imagine Steve Jobs didn't invent the iPhone, or like Netflix wasn't invented, or or like
yeah,
good high-speed internets and all that. We're so dependent on them. Like even now, I could still order Amazon stuff. Jeff Bezos,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff, and Skype. Who did Skype? We were able to chat.
Hmm.
uh, these guys are normally they're vilified in society, but I think these guys should be praised and like we should be thanking them. Thank you, because
Yeah,
without them, what are we doing? Even
yeah,
the Tesco guys who are able to figure out the best supply chain, to get goods out cheaply to everyone,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
100%. Even Ryanair to an extent. I know I
Even
complained
Ryanair,
about
they
Ryanair.
allow air travel so cheaply and
That's the
efficiently.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And look, man, behind every genius, it's crazy. And recently, I had a thought, and I realized how any good idea you have, any like good like when I was watching that Tiger King, it made me realize that any good idea you have, where you have like the good reasons to do it, to execute it, to whatever, the bigger the idea grows, the more you have to compensate for the good that the idea was going to do. You know what I mean? So as your idea grows, you'll be like, you know what? Actually, this isn't. This isn't. I don't know. Like we can't afford to do both. Give organic food and make it at a cheap price. So we're gonna have to scratch that, and we're gonna have to scratch this. And eventually, as your idea grows, it's and then
Yeah,
all of
it
those
requires a lot
people,
of work, a hard
yeah,
work to make them both.
yeah,
Like, say you
like
wanted both organic and
yeah,
cheap, you could make it work, but it's years of figuring out, like, how.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure that when Jeff or whoever made Amazon didn't realize that there were gonna be people selling air conditions and trying to smuggle drugs. People didn't realize those kind of things when they decide to make a product that the people can use to help them. People didn't realize that Skype might be used by I don't know. The cartel.
no, but
Like what I mean?
anything
Like
anything
there
can
is
be used
bad
for
that comes
criminal
out of.
activities. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
anything. You can't use that as
Exactly.
a
That's what I'm saying.
negative to. But
No.
but the way I see it, right, is there's only two ways to get rich.
Mm,
It's by providing a service or a product that's so good that people are willing to voluntarily buy it, right? So they're
mm,
voluntarily giving you money, like, oh, this iPhone or this smartphone is so valuable to me, I'm willing to give you £800 because it's worth more to me than £800, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like if someone told you you couldn't have a smartphone, I'd gladly give 800 because it's worth way more than that, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one way of getting rich. The other way is through criminal activity, right? Or
100%.
legalized crime, which is the government, to be in
Yeah.
bed with the government. And, you can lobby with the government and they might make favorable laws to
Mm,
help you, all that kind of stuff. And I think people mix the two rather than they should be separating them. So they're, someone who's like what's his name, the Colombian Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar
Pablo.
is not on the same level as Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or Jeff Bezos, right? Because they made their wealth in completely different ways. Like Pablo Escobar did it by, even though, even though I guess he didn't, he did have the government on his side because he had to pay police officers. There's no other
Yeah, yeah,
way he could have survived for so long without
yeah,
having police or government on his side.
yeah.
It's only,
The illegal activity, though, that's
yeah.
the problem.
So and he was killing people. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
obviously a
true.
bad man, but he was so rich. But you can't say he's exactly the same as
No, not at all. Not at all, 100%. No, but that's what I mean. Like, what I'm saying is that basically you could have a good idea, and even if it has the best of intentions, it could grow and grow to become eventually used on bad intentions.
everything.
That's
Yeah,
everything.
I mean,
Whether it's a
terrorists
product,
use
whether it's
cars to
you.
kill people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's the person who invents the idea that with power and greed and whatever. But most of the time, even just the product itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, yeah, bro. No, it was. It's good to me that we're doing this, man, because it's been like quite some time now that we didn't record anything.
No, and the thing is, now with the whole lockdown thing, you would think you have more stuff to do, but we have less. And one of the
Mm,
reasons is because there's no sport. And
yeah,
that's annoying because, I've been dying to watch UFC and I can't do it.
yeah, 100%. I've been watching, to tell you, old sporting events. I never used to do that, but I watched some old basketball games because I watched the NBA. I watched some old, fights. Not necessarily old pay-per-views or etc., but I watched a few old fights. I watched like a run of John Jones when he first started, just out of curiosity to see how quickly he got good. Well, he was good from the beginning, but um, I'm also watching like more of these, like the chase and that kind of shows, like the game ones.
Yeah. Actually,
But yeah,
John Jones, you reminded me. So before the lockdown stuff, when he fought Dominic Reyes, was it UFC 247?
yeah,
Anyway, I think it was before or after the fight itself, and he was saying like, "I love everyone, I love you even if you're my haters and all that kind of stuff," right? And he was just like throwing out love, and it's like I don't
yeah,
know, he was probably trying to make a point, but I was thinking that saying I love everyone is such a meaningless statement. Like it's so meaningless. It doesn't mean anything
that's
because
no,
when you say you love someone, right? You've pinpointed
this
something about this
person,
person that's
yeah,
different from everyone else. You've said this person has
100%,
qualities that that I value, and that's why I love
yeah,
them, right? But
yeah,
then if you say I love everyone, so then what have you identified that's different? Or you're just saying you can't love everyone. It's a
no, no,
contradiction
no,
because you're
exactly,
saying I value
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know people that are
You
different
can say I
equally.
like everyone. You can say I like
No, but
everyone.
even I like is
Even I like is
a like is still a
pinpointing.
distinguishing
Yeah,
factor.
yeah.
You're saying
There's
I like
definitely,
this, I don't like this. But if you
yeah,
say I like everything, that means you haven't distinguished, what you don't like. You
yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah,
say I like some things and I don't like some things, and then
yeah,
you
yeah,
say what they are. It's just a contradiction. So
yeah.
it kind of well, not annoyed me, but I just thought I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
No, 100%. But yeah, no, that's a good point. I never like. I understand when people say as well, love. I love my fans, and I understand that loving fans means loving the idea of a group that love you. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
can
As
get that. I'm
opposed,
totally
I love
behind that.
my fans. It's okay, but I love every single one of you.
No, I love you all, even my haters. I love
Yeah,
everyone. What
yeah,
does
yeah,
that
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, I mean, I'm gonna be kind to him. Maybe what he's trying to say is like he can get a value from his haters in the sense that they give him the motivation to prove him wrong. That that I can get behind.
Yeah.
But then be more clear about it and say, you know what, even my haters, I get some motivation from it or something.
Yeah, something at least.
But the word love, that's incorrect usage.
Tell me, bro, do you think they handled it well? The way UFC shot everything and canceled and all that. I mean, they didn't have much of a choice. I
No, they
think they.
don't have. I mean, when the government tells you got to shut things down, that no policy of yours can do anything. I mean, unless you're
I
gonna.
think they told them that if you can do it with 10 people or less, in terms of.
Yeah,
But what's the point
it
then? What
can't be
you?
done.
No,
How?
there's more money.
No, I mean, who are these 10 people? Okay, the referee, 2 fighters, then the camera crew will probably be at least 30.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna have one broadcaster, but I don't know how many people are required
Yeah.
to
To do it.
yeah.
Like, unless Joe Rogan's also behind the camera and also holding the microphone and also
Yeah, I mean
a
maybe
referee.
if Joe Rogan's behind the screen commentating, he's not actually there. It's
Yeah.
just I don't even know. I'm just guessing from the numbers that are required, but it doesn't seem plausible that
And
10 people can do.
I swear to you, if Tony Ferguson,
Ah, man.
I'm gonna
Don't
say,
even say it.
and Khabib get cancelled because of COVID fucking 19, man, it's like, none of us were sick, but you know what?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, that's
That would
you know.
just like then they should just give up. They should just like say, you know what, these two will never fight. No one will ever know. We don't
Nah,
care.
I think if they did cancel it, it's everyone wants to see it. It's probably the most anticipated fight ever, right? It
Yeah.
must be. It must be the most anticipated fight ever for UFC fans, right?
Hmm.
Because there are definitely fights that are more anticipated,
Yeah.
like any Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah. You're right.
But not for like the real
No,
UFC
that's.
fans.
I would say as well that you know what they should do rather than just reschedule every single event. Take the last 5 events that have been postponed or cancelled. Take the main fights of all those 5 events, fight nights or whatever, and just make one super jacked up card.
Yeah, a pay-per-view. That's a very, very good idea, actually.
Yeah, rather than postpone everything. And then the others, you'll arrange in between afterwards some little fight nights, which will be really cool because they'll have co-main events of other cards,
That's
that
right.
weren't used,
Why don't you at Dana White?
I will. I'm gonna see. Yeah, actually, I should. Let's do it.
Yeah, do you
Let's do
ever
it.
tweet at celebrities?
No, I never. I done it once to Mustafi because I felt really bad, and I think I was drunk when I did it.
Yeah, and actually
I
I
never done
retweeted
it.
you.
Yeah, and I never done it afterwards. I'm like, nah. I don't think he appreciated it. Oh, actually, to be honest, he probably did, He probably I'll never forget this name. He came to me
The
when
way
most it was needed.
the way I see it is like tweeting at celebrities is a bit like going after girls or chasing girls. It's a numbers game, man. You just gotta keep doing it, and then eventually you'll have one celebrity that's gonna hit you, or reply
Yeah.
or retweet. Go.
Nice one. Yeah, I'll give this a try. You know what I was going to tell you, actually? We should have a competition. How many people tweet us back? Like, just tweet UFC fighters. But you have to tweet something not necessarily nice. You can be a bit, an asshole or etc. But see how many you can manage to either get a reply or a reaction.
That's interesting. Yeah, we could have we give it each other a week and say how
Yeah.
many celebrities can you get to retweet or respond to you.
Yeah.
Within that, in the person who has the highest number wins. But
Yeah.
I think we would have to define what a celebrity is. So I guess a blue check mark and maybe a certain number of followers as well.
Yeah. A fan base, what they're famous for. You
Yeah,
know?
I think it'd have to definitely be over 1 million and blue
Yeah.
check mark.
Yeah, you just have to think either of, there's different ways of looking at it. Either use some, I'm thinking I'm not going to give you my ways of winning, so we'll challenge accept.
Fine.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Especially now, Corona time, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Nice one, man. Yeah, well, this is the first official episode now. We've done the first official episode of The Thinker and the Joker.
That's right. Wow. Very
Nice.
nice.
Nice one,
Hope
guys.
many more to come.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in isolation, we'll have plenty more to do, I'm sure. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.